Hi girls! Our bodies produce varying quantities of different hormones during the different phases of the menstrual cycle. The very painful and often disturbing symptoms you might experience around your PMS is your body trying to signal to you that there may be certain imbalances within your hormones. I want you to get to know the menstrual cycle because this will help you understand your period better and also help you understand what these symptoms are trying to tell you. So, let's get to know your period. These hormones are meant to ebb and flow or fluctuate throughout the cycle and are responsible for the four distinct stages of your menstrual cycle. It affects your female reproductive system in two ways. That is, these hormones act on your ovaries as well as on the uterus with just one common goal. Your body gives you a chance each month to have a baby. Unless you want to have that baby, you get your period. A lot of people have this misconception that their period comes at the end of the cycle, whereas the cycle starts with the first day of your period or the day you start to bleed. This is known as the menstrual phase. And during this phase, your two key female hormones, estrogen and progesterone, are at its lowest. This explains why you're so emotionally vulnerable, fatigued, drained out, and have so many mood swings during the first few days. At the end of your period is when the FSH levels start to peak. This is one other hormone which brings us to the second phase of our menstrual cycle called the follicular phase. Our brain very beautifully communicates with our ovaries by sending out two important hormones, FSH and LH. They go and stimulate the ovaries for various functions. Let's first talk about FSH, or the follicle stimulating hormone. Does exactly what its name suggests. That is, it travels from the brain and goes and stimulates certain group of immature follicles that are present inside your ovary. Now these follicles are competing with one another for maturation. But it's only one of this follicle that actually surpasses the phase of screening and is the one that undergoes a change in the size and matures and is recruited to release a very important hormone, estrogen, in our system. This estrogen then acts on the uterine lining and starts to thicken it in order to make it a more hospitable environment to receive the egg, which brings us to our next phase, or the phase of ovulation. Now, once the level of this estrogen that's produced by the mature follicle reaches to a certain concentration or a certain threshold, it kind of signals to the brain by saying, hey, you know what, I need a lot more support. Please send in more FSH, please send in more LH, right? And this is the point when FSH and LH actually peak. LH, or the luteinizing hormone, is the hero of the cycle because it helps in ovulation. So FSH, LH are working really close together in order to send out certain chemical messengers, certain enzymes that is going to rupture this follicle and burst open so that the mature egg can travel through the fallopian tube and enter the uterus. Ovulation marks the start of the next phase, or the luteal phase. The follicle that's left behind after the egg has been released is converted to a yellow color body known as corpus luteum. In the presence of LH, it starts to release progesterone. Progesterone now takes the active role of estrogen by maintaining the uterus lining. It's this progesterone that's peaking during this phase, and this high level of progesterone is responsible for all your mood swings, crying, all the unnecessary overthinking, anxiety, breast tenderness, cramps, all of your PMS symptoms. After a point, the corpus luteum does not have the capacity to produce more and more progesterone to maintain it at that high level, so the progesterone level starts to decline. Now this decline signals to the uterine walls that, hey, perhaps there is no requirement for me to keep this lining so thick because we're not having a baby, and the uterine lining starts to shed and you get your period and the cycle continues. So that's how your menstrual cycle works, and I hope it was easy for you to understand because I tried my level best to simplify it for you. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Thank you.